Peter Ducey is with Senator Lindsey Graham inside his office on Capitol Hill for a live interview here on the Daily Briefing. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, Dana. Senator Graham, you've talked to the president a couple of times. Yesterday, he was saying no short-term deal unless there is a down payment on the wall. Right. There is no down payment for the wall. So what is his thinking?
The best way to get this thing to conclusion is open up the government. The bottom line is the TPS recipients who have been here for decades as a result of natural disasters, wars, they're going to begin to lose their legal status this year. You have DACA folks that are in sort of legal limbo. The president is willing to give 1.1 million people a better life if he can get a secure border. To my Democratic friends, you have voted in the past for wall funding greater than the president's requested. This is the first time in 12 years I've seen a deal where you secure your border and give a better life to the DACA TPS population. If the Democrats do not work with us, the biggest losers, in my view, are going to be the TPS DACA recipients, because this president will secure our border through executive action.
Based on your conversations with him, though, is he leaning toward, if there is no progress in 3 weeks, using his executive authority or just shutting it down again?
My belief is this needs to come to an end, that every commander-in-chief has an obligation to defend the country. How can you look at that border and believe it's not porous? You had a 9-month pregnant woman climb over the wall. A couple of days ago, you had 100 people come over the wall using a ladder. So I think the president is hell-bent on securing our border. He would love to do it through the legislative process. He's willing to give a better life to the TPS DACA recipients, put humanitarian assistance on the table. Here's what I think. Come February the 15th, if the Democrats still say, go to hell on the wall, you get $1, that's it, they basically tell Trump, I'm not going to do with you what I did with Bush and Obama, then I hope he will go the emergency route. We don't need to shut the government down. We need to secure the border. And to me, the last best chance to do this win-win is between now and February the 15th.
And based on the conversations you've had with your Democratic colleagues, is this, the end of the shutdown, the 3-week extension, is that going to push a comprehensive immigration deal? Is there going to be this huge bargain now the day after Valentine's Day?
To my Democratic colleagues, I've been working with you for a decade. You voted in 2013 for $42 billion to secure our border, 700 miles of fencing. You've done this in the past. This president is willing to give a better life to the DACA TPS population. The TPS recipients are going to lose their legal status, and this president's willing to work with them if he can get something in return, securing our border. As to shutting the government down again, that makes no sense to me. What I want to do is shut down the crime coming across the border. The real danger of this country is a broken border. To my Democratic colleagues, this is the best chance I've seen since 2006 to get a deal that is a win-win for all of us. Take advantage of it. If you don't, by February the 15th, this president has one choice left: to do it by himself through executive action. That's the last option, but it may be the only option if Democrats won't work with us. To Nancy Pelosi, all you've done is say no. Every time he's put an idea on the table, every time he's moved, you just tell him no. All I can say is to my Democratic senators who took the floor yesterday, 8 of you promised to work with this president to do more on wall security, border funding, barrier funding. If you can push your colleagues to where you're at, we'll get a deal good for the country.
Last one. If the government quickly reopens today, will there be a State of the Union address in the House chamber with the Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, sitting behind President Trump on Tuesday night?
I hope so. The more we can get back to being normal, the more we can look like a country that has differences but still united in purpose, the better. It would be good for this country to have the president speak from the House chamber with the speaker over his shoulder, showing that we have differences, but we're also able to work together. To my Democratic colleagues, we've got 3 weeks to bring about a conclusion to a problem that's been going on for 13 years. To the president, thank you for giving us this opportunity. If you have to go it alone, it will be because you tried everything and nothing worked but going it alone. I'm somewhat optimistic that Democratic senators who spoke yesterday are going to make sure the TPS population does not go into the darkness, that these DACA recipients will have a better life, then go to school, then get in-state tuition legally, and all that All you got to do is to give the president a few $1 billion more for a barrier you've previously voted for. That's all you got to do, is to give him the same thing you gave Obama and Bush, and we'll have a deal that will be good for the country. Please take advantage of this.
All right. Senator Lindsey Graham, you heard it here first before anywhere else. Dana, back to you.
Peter Doocy, thank you for that enterprising reporting, and thank you, Senator Graham, for being there with us live on the Daily Briefing.